Well guys, it's a wrap. Today marks the final day in June. There are no more opportunities to trade. And honestly, it's been a pretty decent month, guys. We've had a lot of opportunities. We've had a lot of movement in the market. And although there have been some slow days, overall, I think it's been pretty decent, and I'm very grateful that we have this level of opportunities, despite it being the summer when a lot of people thought it was gonna be ridiculously slow. So it hasn't been ridiculously slow. It hasn't been insanely hot like February, but I don't know if we'll get back to those types of months for a very long time. So I'm grateful that we were able to have a month this great, and I actually was able to close out 100% green days again for the second month in a row. So I have not had a red day since April now at this point, and only one red day in April. The last one before that was March 1st. So pretty crazy consistency, and I'm just very grateful that I'm able to be in this position. So I'm gonna talk about those results a little bit. The other thing I wanna talk about is kind of what's the plan for tomorrow, because we have a couple of stocks that are gonna be making some moves. Hertz is finally restarting as HTZZ, so no more HTZGQ, no more great dip buys and shorts on that ticker, so gonna be very interesting to see what happens with it. I'm excited to see what happens, looking forward to trading that stock. And also, the last thing is, our dear friend Rohan has officially left the Discord because he was unable to be disciplined yet again, so I just wanna take a moment of silence and really, just respect the time he's been with us. So. All right, guys, let's dive into my computer and talk about these stocks and review the month that I had. All right, guys, so I'm here on my laptop, and this is the, I guess the Google Sheets. I don't know why my brain just stopped working. This is the Google Sheets that I made to track my profits, and I definitely recommend setting up one of these. It's super easy, and it's just nice to be able to look back on this. Unfortunately, I didn't start doing this until May. I was able to do it for March in the past because I could find that on Fidelity, but April I was switching between a bunch of brokerages, so I actually don't have April. But you can see this is June, guys, so I was unable to trade on the 1st. There were actually a lot of opportunities on the 1st that I did miss there, so that's probably another part of the reason why I wasn't able to break over 50,000 this particular month. But it is what it is. Still a pretty great month overall. And I think the main thing that I want to take away is, just being smarter about my swing trades. If I'm going to take big size, I got to be really close to the risk level, and it has to be a good setup. I shouldn't take a swing trade just because I think I should take a swing trade. I have to take a swing trade when it actually is potentially going to be decent from that area. Not just buying swing trades to buy them and then cutting $500 loss, cutting $1,000 loss later. It just doesn't make sense. And this day in particular, I had a really nice profit on the day and then ended up having to cut a huge swing trade loss. So, that was, I think, at least a $1,500 loss, maybe $2,000 loss on a swing trade. So, that gave back a lot there. So that's another reason I wasn't over. And just overall, just pretty lame, man. Pretty lame overall. So, that's kind of the takeaways. Here, I almost had a red day, but somehow managed to stay green without selling any profits from swing trades. I'm not going to do that, so if it's my turn to have a red day, I'll take a red day. I'm not going to sell some swing trades before I'm going to sell them just because I don't want to have a red day. But just pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to trading next month, guys. Looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. So this was June. This was May. You can see here, ended 54,000. I don't know what April was because I wasn't tracking it. It was definitely a lot lower because I got banned by Fidelity and was learning how to short. It might have been like 10,000 or 20,000, something like that. And then this is March, 69,000. February was like 80,000. So it feels like it's kind of like a downward trend. But I think, part of that is definitely the fact that we're in the middle of the summer and the market's overall not quite as hot. Definitely it's getting hot in the last week or so, but kind of the first week of June, second week of June wasn't super hot. The second week was pretty slow here, and I took the swing trade losses on top of that. So just some nice takeaways from this, and again, I'm very grateful to be at a point in my life where I can make this type of money sitting in my basement. Well, I guess it's not my basement anymore. I guess it's just a room, but just trade, man. It's great, and I love to be able to help you guys with that. So again, if you are not at a point where you have results like this and you want help, definitely consider joining the Discord. Don't do it today when this video comes out. Wait until tomorrow, July 1st, so you don't get charged twice for being in the Discord, because they charge you when you sign up and then on the 1st of the month. So if you sign up on the 1st, you won't get billed again until the next 1st. But if you sign up today, you'll get billed today and then on the 1st. So definitely check that out, guys. It's been helpful for a lot of people. We've been seeing some guys get some great consistency in there, guys and girls. No gender exclusions here. So just grateful to see that, and grateful to be able to lead you guys through this market, because it's a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot from you guys and learning a lot in general. So just working on becoming a better trader, and it's pretty awesome. So HTZGQ, guys, just to get into some charts now, you can see it did have a huge gap up. I mean, I don't even know how that's possible, man. It's gapped up a ridiculous amount after that bounce. I mean, again, to think that I dip bought, you know, right here at 820 and basically sold it at 820. I got in too early and then sold it at 820. This thing bounced all the way up to 875. Finished the day at like 890, gapped up to 950 and ran to 970 almost right out of the gate. I mean, it's just insane. That's crazy. Especially given the fact that, you know, now that this is canceled, no one who had shares of HTZGQ is gonna have shares. So like, if you're having a share, one share is about $8 worth of value. It doesn't make sense that it's running up this high. It really doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. So it's gonna be interesting to see how HTZZ runs tomorrow. It's not a ticker yet, but it should be starting tomorrow. If you look at that PR, HTZGQ, let me pull that up. It should be, yeah. So if you go here, scroll down to the bottom. Yeah, the new ticker symbols effective July 1st will be HTZZ for Hertz common stock and HTZZW for the warrants, but they will still be trading on the OTC markets. So it's still gonna be an OTC stock, which is good news because I prefer it as an OTC stock. Definitely cleaner as an OTC stock, so I like that, and it should be interesting tomorrow. So it may have a lot of FOMO at the beginning tomorrow. It may see a nice run at open, so I may buy it right at open. We'll see what happens, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It should be fun, whatever happens. I just got a lot of tickers today, guys, so I don't want to go too deep into any of them, so I take up too much time. But the big issue, the main reason that today was so annoying was two tickers. I don't know why I just held up one. Two tickers. So LWLG, this one was just, I mean, it just continued to do what it's been doing, guys. So you can see insanely overextended, you know, had a little spike at open. I actually nailed this right here, had a gap up. I shorted this perfectly, but I think I covered, you know, right here. I timed the top perfectly. I covered right here. It ended up dumping. You know, I may have re-shorted into this bounce, but it was very choppy. These wicks are big. Executions are really slow. Liquidity is really low. And, you know, it's just a really annoying stock to trade, and it's very, very manipulated. The price action is just not normal, and if you market sell, market buy, you just get screwed every time. They will pull the bid, pull the ask, fill you 20 cents higher, 25 cents higher, and then put it right back where it was and send it the other direction just to screw you over. And the volume's low enough where like they see the orders coming in and they will literally do that just to mess with you. So very unfortunate day on this stock. I mean, I gave back all my gains from doing this correctly. I wasn't able to long this. I don't know why I didn't think to long this. I got caught short a little bit. I covered most of it down here, but I still had 250 shares short from like here in this area. Got ripped on this candle, was able to cover here before it ripped even higher. But just crazy, man, just crazy type of move. I didn't have the confidence to re-short this here because I just kind of expected this thing to bounce back and rip to new highs. So when it didn't, you know, I missed out on that fade. And then there was a huge dip right here. And I dip bought 2,000 shares at 419. No, 1415. I dip bought it right there. And then they pulled the bid without anyone selling. It tanked all the way down. And I ended up losing like 500 bucks on this right before they bounced it back. And I would have made, you know, well over 500. I mean, I don't know what I would have made there, like 1,500. So that was like a $2,000 swing because it's just very manipulated, guys. It's very sketchy. You know, if you see a stock that's up this much, you know, goes on a secondary run and then pulls back like this, that should be a decent dip buy. You know, it should be a decent dip buy at least to see a bounce to 1440. That's what I was hoping for. So, you know, I got screwed there. But moral of the story is you cannot take big sides on this stock. And that's where our friend Rohan went wrong, taking 1,000 shares with a small account when you just can't do that. You can't do it. You know, the risk is just too big, and they can move this stock a ridiculous amount in any direction very quickly. The spread is massive. I mean, there was like a 50-cent spread at one time. You know, it breaks above 14.30, it goes straight to 14.90, or pretty much. You know, it's just crazy, man. So I really hate this stock. I'm not going to trade it with any larger size than like 250 shares from now on, man. I'm tired of it. Even Jack Kellogg took an L on this thing. You know, Jack Kellogg is a great trader. I'm not sure if this camera's in focus. Yeah, even Jack Kellogg, man, he lost like 40,000 on this stock. So it's just, you know, it's tough. It's very tough. Today, he lost like 40,000 on the short. He was short like 15,000 shares from 1450, and I think he ended up covering up here. It's just very tricky. So I don't know what it's gonna do, guys. I don't know if it's gonna tank now because it had its first red day, or if it's just gonna keep ripping and going higher. You know, I feel like it could be similar to ONPH, where you think this thing is, you think it's done. It has its first red day. You know, okay, wow, it's overextended and it has a red day. That means the run is over. But then it just keeps ripping. You know, up until like this. You know, I could see this happening, guys, which is why I'm not being super aggressive on the short side, because I cannot risk it. I literally cannot risk it. So we'll see what happens. But man, it's a crazy ticker, guys. It really is a crazy ticker. DPLS, this is one that's been consolidating nicely in that range, and you can see it did break out over the 8 area, and it looked like it was going great, but then it had some huge selling volume come out of nowhere. This thing started panicking, and unfortunately, you know, I missed that short. I didn't think it was going to tank from 8.5 down to there. I missed a good amount of money short in that, unfortunately. So is what it is. But now I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Just a lot of weird, choppy stocks, guys. Just a lot of weird, choppy stocks. So that was that one today. MJWL, you know, this one had some PRs, had some tweets, spiked a little bit on that, but you can see, guys, it's literally just like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. So if you're buying on the top and like trying to cut, my goodness, man, you get chopped up in this. You get really chopped up. Thankfully, I was able to make some on this towards the end of the day by capitalizing and actually, you know, banking on some of these, you know, dip buying and then shorting and stuff like that. But it's just tough, just a tough ticker to trade, especially if you try to buy, you know, news breakouts. They had a PR, I think it was right around here. It did spike to new high a day, but then immediately dumped. And we've been seeing that kind of a lot, guys. We've been seeing that kind of a lot, which makes it very difficult to trade with big size to the point where you can have a lot of gains, because these tickers will just break new high and then just dump. And I lost like, I think it was like 1,000 on WSRC today. Not overall on the day. Overall, I still made money on it. But I guess, you know, I just want to talk about this thing right here first. It came in and it was churning and it broke these highs. And you can see it immediately wicked back after it broke these highs and dumped all the way down to 46. Tried to bounce a little bit and dumped even lower. So somehow I was long like 50,000 shares into this breakout, hoping it was going to rip over 50, and just nothing, guys. Just absolutely dumped on my head, and I lost like 1,000 there. I didn't even want to be long that much, but with how slow the executions are on this stock, you got to be so careful. You got to be so careful, because you can't get out when you need to get out, and you also can't get in really when you want to get in. That's what makes it so tough on these OTC stocks that have slow executions. So very frustrating day overall. The one good play that I did have was right here in the morning. I called this out in the Discord. They had, I don't know if it was a tweet first or some news first. It might have been some news. Maybe it was a tweet and then they had some news later on. I forget, but whatever it was on a nice dip already. And I tried to buy 150,000 shares, limit like 27 or something like that. I only got filled 30,000, but it was from like right there. And I think I ended up selling pretty much all of it really early. Like, I think I got it from like 25 and I sold it at like 29 or something like that before it went on this crazy run. I did not expect it to run another, what is that? Another 36%. I mean, that's crazy. So unfortunately, I missed out on the majority of that with the big size that I had. I did buy this here because there was another catalyst, you know, another guru buying. So I was able to take advantage of that with some, not with some size, you know, only 10,000 shares. But I mean, you get a rip like this with 10,000 shares, it's still nice. So I was able to bank on this run, just not as much as I should have if I'd gotten my 150,000 shares from down there. But after that, it was just disappointing, man. Did make a new high a day, but like barely. And you can see so many times it broke and then just stuffed. Like broke to new high, stuff, broke stuff, broke stuff. Like it's just, it's very frustrating, man. Very frustrating. So this was a ticker that was rough. And between that and LWLG it was just a frustrating day. And then another frustrating play, guys. If you were in the Discord, you already know about this one. But ALPP, I called out the news on this one. It was being super sketchy, right? So there was a huge ask at 13, I believe it was, not 13, like either 320 or 321. There was a huge ask. I think it might have been 321. And there was a bid that was tiny, like 100 bid that they were showing at 320, but it kept eating up massive size. And there was like a 30,000 ask at 321. So I was like, all right, I'll short, see if this thing will break, because it's done this before where, it has a little mini bid there, and then it cracks and it'll dump like 15 cents a share. So I was short 6,000 shares from like 320.5. But then they come out with this press release or some tweet, I forget which one. And because of that, I immediately flipped biases. I immediately went long 10,000 shares from 321, guys. 10,000 shares from 321, which means that every penny it moves, I should make $100, right? So like, you see this big spike, you're thinking, damn, David must have banked on this. Nope. I was trying to sell, and it started selling off. Like, the bid support was just not there, and you can't get the fills. So I was selling, when the bid was at 328. 329, I don't know if the bid was at, no, the bid was never 329, but the bid was at 328, and I was trying to sell 327, 326, 325. I couldn't get filled more than, I think I got filled 50 shares right here out of my 10,000, and then I just watched it dump all the way down here, and I was scared this thing was gonna panic, because we've seen a lot of plays do that, where they spike up a tiny bit on some news, and then they immediately dump, and then they break to new lows and go into a huge panic. So I wasn't about to lose, a penny a share, not a penny a share, I guess a penny a share, lose $100 per penny if this goes into a panic. So I had to cut it. So I literally bought 10,000 shares at 321 and sold all my shares pretty much at 320. So I lost some money there, which is insane. I mean, it's literally just, it's nuts. It's crazy. I mean, and then after that, it ended up ripping, and then another guru bought it, and it pushed up even higher. And I would have made, $1,500 easily on this play. So it's so wild. I feel like there were so many plays like that today. I think DPLS was another one. Yeah, this actually was another one. So you can see right here, you can see where the news comes out, guys. You can see where it comes out. So this thing broke under 8 very temporarily. I was buying in here. I was long either 200,000, 250,000 shares, something like that. And it started tanking, so I cut it for a small loss. And then I look away because I'm thinking, all right, well, whatever. And then it spikes up. So you can see where this volume starts. I bought it here on this ticker, on this candle, 250,000 shares. Every 1/10 of a cent, that's $250, man. This thing ripped. I mean, that's $1,000 right there. That's $1,000. And I cut it right here for a loss right before it ripped. So I feel like I could not do anything right today, guys. But, there are days like that. You have days like that, and sometimes there's a lot of days like that. And you got to stay true to your rules regardless of what happens, because ultimately, I feel this frustrated, yet I still have all green days. So I would say I'm in a pretty good position, and I just got to keep that perspective. But it can be very frustrating. So this is the point of having discipline and having good rules and just knowing to stick to that, because your process overall is profitable, even if you butcher trades sometimes. So you can never do anything perfectly. Well, I guess you can't always do stuff perfectly. Sometimes you might get it lucky if your name's Jazzy, you top tick a supernova, but besides that, guys, it's pretty much impossible. Let's go admire this. Let's go admire this one more time. Where did he buy? 4 and sold at 77.77. My man Jazzy, bro. Most epic trade this world has ever seen. I just gotta give you more props for that, man. Just such a beautiful trade. I guess a few other tickers, guys. LKNCY. This is one that had a nice run up, had a nice little short in here. I made a little bit on this. Missed the late day dump. HTBVF? HTBVF? What is it? HVBTF? Yeah, this is one that it spiked up a lot and then just pretty much dumped down just as hard. Unfortunately, I missed the short as it broke low a day there because I wasn't paying attention. And it was beautiful, guys. Absolutely beautiful. If I'd gotten, 5,000, 10,000 shares short, would have been an epic trade, but I missed that one too. And I actually missed the rip on the long on this. I mean, I butchered it, guys. I absolutely butchered it. I was long for the breakout of 3, and it spiked up a little bit and then dumped under. So I think I broke even or lost a little bit on that. And then I shorted it because I thought I was going to panic, and then it came right back and it ripped. So such a horrible day. Honestly, such a horrible day. Very frustrating, but there's days like that, guys. And we still have movers in the market. We still have stocks doing stuff. There's still opportunities to make money. So I'm very, very grateful for that. I forget if I talked about MJWL. I might have. If not, this was another one yeah, I did talk about this. Okay, I'm losing my mind, guys. I did cut my AITX swing just because it scared me a little bit by breaking under 6. If it bases again, you know, before that 5 area, I'll definitely try to swing it. I just, with the amount of shares that I have, you know, 100,000 shares, I don't want to cut under a dump under 5 and, you know, take a $1,200, $1,300 loss. So I would rather just cut it here and miss a bounce if it happens, or, you know, be able to get back in if it does base, you know, 5.5 or something like that. So I'm ready to continue looking at that one. AVVH, that was a nice little pop-up today. Pretty nice. So we'll see what happens with that one. I did take a little bit of profits up in here just in case it falls lower, but otherwise I'm happy to swing it and let it keep going. HQGE, this one's still just in that zone, guys. Still not doing much. So, you know, I'm still waiting on this one. And yeah, I actually added a little bit of MIDI today. There was some selling towards the end of the day. There's always selling towards the end of the day. They love dumping the price at the end of the day. So if you put something on the bid, you almost always get filled. I got filled, I forget what it was, like 20-something thousand, 27,000, 24,000, I forget. 27,000 maybe, something like that. 29,000 shares, I forget exactly. Something like that. Right there, 1981, I believe that's where I got filled at. So got up a little bit on there. Again, overall, this chart, it could dump more. I'm happy to add more if it dumps, but I definitely want to have a large position because I think, I was talking about this in the Discord a little bit, I think this stock has a really high potential, a pretty decent chance of going up 1,000% if you're willing to hold it for, you know, a couple of years, a few years, you know, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think it's a decent percent chance of going up 1,000%. And I think the downside at this point is, I would say it's less than 50%. I would have to imagine it's less than 50%. So I think it's a, you know, risk 50% to make 1,000%. I think it's worth it. So that's why I'm loading up here. You know, my portfolio looks a little ugly right now. I can show you guys. I'm negative like 20 grand unrealized on my swing. I'm swinging at 150,000. That's part of it from 33 cents. So I mean, it looks ugly right now. It really does. But I'm very confident in this ticker long term, and I see absolutely no point in selling here when if I wait a couple of years, it should be dollars. So I'm excited for that, and you know, we'll see what happens, guys. I'll keep you posted, but hope you all had a great month. Learned a lot, earned a lot. If you didn't do both of those things, you know, there's always next month. So put our best foot forward. I will see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys in Discord tomorrow. Let's kill July. We'll make it a great July, and yeah, let's do it. Until then, you know the drill. Let's grow better together. Preguntar, bebé, dime por qué te mientes. No puedes esconder todo lo que tú por mí sientes.